All right, hi everyone.
Hey everyone, I am Joshua Mitchell. I'm here from the UW-Madison BIPOC Coalition.
And I'm Lauren Damgard, and I am also here from the UW-Madison BIPOC Coalition.
We're so excited to have you guys here for this Black History Month event that we're planning in association with Wood Publications.
It's our last event of the month, and we're just super excited that we were able to make this happen. And thank you all for tuning in, and thank the artists as well for all participating in this. And yeah, we're really happy that this is able to happen. So thank you all very much.
And before we get started with the event, we wanted to have a land acknowledgement. So we must acknowledge that we are hosting this event on Ho-Chunk land. We ask that everyone participate in a minute of silence and to reflect on all the Indigenous lives laws and the continued erasure and oppression of Indigenous peoples on this campus and in this country. We must acknowledge to work to correct our settler colonialist history, and we ask you to remember the 38th Dakota man executed at the hands of Abraham Lincoln, a president UW-Madison honors on Ho-Chunk land that the same president allowed for this university and many others to steal and sell to expand their operations. And a minute of silence is going to start now. And thank you guys so much for participating in that.
So we just wanted to do a little bit of an intro, or just talk about who we are as a group first. So we come from the UW-Madison BIPOC Coalition. We have our social media handles up there. And so basically our goal as an organization is to, could you go back? Thank you. To coalesce the objectives of other BIPOC student affinity groups on campus with city-based ones and other groups on campus like ASM to try and create a more diverse and inclusive, unified community of BIPOC voices on campus. And so we aim to create a collective platform that realizes and streamlines actionable initiatives that focuses on structural changes to ensure that everyone on campus is heard, recognized, respected, and celebrated. And so part of what we do is we try to participate in a lot of different forms of activism, but also creating programming like this to spread the word about what we're trying to accomplish, but also to get everyone from the community engaged in what we are trying to accomplish here in Madison and at UW-Madison.
And doing those things require us to fundraising. One of those fundraisers we're doing right now is our stickers. We could Venmo us at UW-Madison BIPOC Coalition and give $5 each, and all proceeds go to compensating the artists performing tonight, as well as all the extra profits will be distributed to Black organizations on campus. And now we'll be giving you guys the set list for tonight. So we just finished our intro, and we're going to have Tati, then Nayu, Sydney, Golly the Ruler, and then a Q&A conversation with Nayu and Tati as well. And to insert and give your questions to some of the artists that will be in the Q&A, we have a Google form in the chat, as well as just you could type your questions in the chat as well. And to get us started tonight, we have Tati.
Hi, again, like they said, my name is Tatiana or Tati. I'm a local activist. I like to call myself a revolutionary. I'm a poet and an artist. I have a book coming out later this year in April. So it's actually coming up. It's called Delusion is a Hell of a Drug. So look out for that. Today I will be doing 3 pieces. One I call a battle cry, which is kind of a Black liberation type poem, and then 2 are pieces from my book, trying to do a little selfless promotion. So first I'm going to do the battle cry, which is called Why the Black Girl Can't Commit Suicide. Why can't the Black girl commit suicide? A Black girl committing suicide sounds an awful lot like a fish drowning. We live in death and they live in water. I was at the Black girl's funeral. She found time to serve drinks before lying down in her casket. What do you expect from the woman who performed her own autopsy? She would have left it for the mortician, but she was afraid that a doctor would mutilate her body again, that she would die a second time waiting to be seen. I watched a white woman steal her features off her dead yet somehow still warm body and place them upon her skin. At this point, I was forced to watch the crowd award this white woman a Nobel Prize for her newfound beauty. White woman then turned around, reached into her throat, stole her native tongue, and rebranded it slang, rolled it all the way to the Grammys. Although the Black boy's funeral is being held in another room, the white man thought that this would be the perfect place to put him on trial. The white man then went on for hours painting him and his wife as some sort of victim, and nobody blinked an eye. What do you expect? This is my Black girl's poem, and I've used most my words to discuss everyone but the Black girl. If I can't be a star at my own funeral, how can I be a star in my own imagination? If the Black girl committed suicide, that means she wrote, starred, and directed in her own death, and I promise you the world has never left us that much freedom. The Black girl's murder scene was written well before her face ever blessed this horrid country. It was written in the same pen stroke that decided she was no longer African, but rather America's keeper. Since then, her life has never belonged to her. She spent the rest of her days casted as a shadow in a play that couldn't exist without her, underneath a sun that shines as her mirror image. But what would you expect me to say? I am that Black girl too. This poem is simply a refugee camp, written as food for thought so I don't have to swallow the usual breadcrumbs the world loves to give us. See, our mind is molded by empty promises, body framed by a shallow grave. What do you expect? My body is a war zone, plagued by the European infiltration of my mind, warring with the African roots planted in my heart. I am a sun child, a monster created by America, a goddess of love and destruction, tortured by a need to be strong and a need to be protected. Black men no longer know how to love me, and I no longer know how to be loved by him. I only know how to give love and feel pain. These are the consequences of my beauty. My ability to keep the world spinning despite not being alive is a lot like a miracle. But what would you expect me to say? The world is not ready for the fire of my soul. Her embers have a calm, healing effect, but her flames have a tendency to engulf cities in riots. I am Black woman. I was made in the image of Mother Earth, a goddess of love and destruction. Uncle Sam, our son, is dead on the pavement, another victim of genocide. Lady Liberty, I'm crying out to you for help. But before you leave me to die in your waiting room, what will you give me for me and Black man's new child? I'm another victim of your genocide. I am Black women, and despite you killing me, I birthed the revolution. So the next time you ask yourself why the Black girl can't commit suicide, ask yourself why you already have your knife in her back. All right, so that's why the Black girl can't commit suicide. And then the first poem I'm going to share from my book is called Playa Playa Pusher Man. I'm your pusher man. Let me take you for a ride. The body's slim but stacked, if you know what I mean. If you think I'm smooth out here, come inside. I'll let you meet the real poet. Don't be scared, put your tongue on it. She tastes like freedom. But first, tell me, who am I? Join my collection of shiny things. I'm your pusher man. Let me take you on a trip. This right here is high-end spliff. I'm telling you now, it doesn't get better than this. It's a tough pill to swallow because I'm out of your league, but if you show me who I am, you can crush it. Take what you need. Sniff it through your nose. Enjoy my collection of shiny things. I'm the pusher man. I'm like a leech that takes care of you. I sell delusions for the price of me. Something about these delusions make me feel free. It's hard out here for a ghost. Man murdered me, so I made him my junkie. And then lastly, I have, I'm going to share one that's called Love, period. Hey, I know we talk every night, but writing this letter seemed right. The only thing to do, the only way to say I'm trying to love you. Do you think about me like I think about you? Like when you're on your way home, do you wonder what I do? Because I'm fly and I can make you fly too. With the two of us together, the world won't know what to do. When you smile, I smile. I smile even when you're not smiling. I smile at the thought of you. You're truly inspiring. I've never been in love before, but you make me feel like trying. I mean, how could I not? Your pillow lips soften your callous thoughts. Your cinnamon skin is sun-kissed by the goddess. Your style is unmatched, original, unrepeatable. Your walk is like a dance. People have to watch. Your talk is like a song. People have to listen. Your eyes are my portal to a different dimension. The people will get lost, and they'll find themselves in a new world, your world, a world undefeatable, kind, and beautiful. Your love is a journey through thought. The things you teach are not taught. If I share with you my insecurities, will you hold them against me again? I don't remember how to function in a way that's healthy all the time. My paranoia makes me a bit delusional, but tell me, what's a healthy sized pit for you to put in my stomach? What's a healthy way to be lost? How many times is it okay for me to ask for reassurance before it becomes like a thing? How can this be healthy if I want you more than anybody, but I'll let anybody sweep me off my feet? Either I'm the problem or you've manipulated me into thinking I am. Sorry, my insecurities and paranoia run together. They get their calls from my anxiety, who works as my trauma's right hand. This is not a delusion anymore. I'm introducing you to the mob that takes over the streets in my mind. I'm just hoping you'll find a way to still be kind. Loving me is supposed to be easy. Why do you make it so hard? Last time we talked about this, you decided you hated me. But I still want to help. I can't just walk away. You created me. So just tell me what to do, please. This is my declaration to me from you. P.S. I know I always love me. Sometimes I just have a funny way of showing it. So again, I have a book coming out April. Delusion is a hell of a drug. Look for it. Don't forget to follow your local activists, activist organizations such as Black Umbrella. Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Tati. Also, again, just want to quickly mention that you guys could look for Tati's Instagram information, to look for her book, as well as Black Umbrella's contact information to get involved in the Madison community activism scene. I also briefly just wanted to mention a little bit of what Tati said in that first poem about how Black women are seen as the most vulnerable in communities. I think it's extremely important that in movements that they are put at the forefront and the center of these activism groups.
Yeah, definitely. And we also just wanted to quickly highlight Black Umbrella as an organization. They do some amazing work here in Madison, and they're part of the reason why we're a group, because of our collaborations with them. And so you should definitely go check them out on social media. They have an event tomorrow. It's a candlelight vigil for Tony Robinson. So make sure you can check that out too and attend if you're able. But yeah, just once again, that was an amazing performance. Thank you so much. All three of those poems were incredible. So yeah.
You have to make sure you guys go to her page to find that. Oh, and coming up next.
Oh yeah, so our next performer is going to be Niall. He is also, he is part of the Black Voice here on campus. And so we have done some work with them as well. They recently were just a part of Josh's podcast with PubCom and talking about diversity and publications in the media. And so that's also on Spotify if you want to go check it out. But yeah.
All right. So next up, we have Niall.
What's good, y'all? Thank you so much for having me. My name is Niall Lansana. My pronouns are he, him, his. I'm from the south side of Chicago. I'm a senior at UW-Madison, double majoring in journalism and creative writing. And I'm the co-editor-in-chief of the Black Voice and vice president of Uprise Poetry Collective. And I'm just so blessed and honored to be here. Spit these poems for y'all. So let's get into it. This first piece is called What the Wind Moves in Wisconsin. And it starts with an epigraph from one of my former professors and favorite poets, Tiana Clark. What the wind moves in Wisconsin. I can't talk about the trees without the blood. Tiana Clark. What white folk can get away with a grin and apology, will make me a weeping willow. A noose is hung on campus. Again, the trees shake the jolted ghosts from their limbs, like every quivering soul forced to fit their necks into an untidy knot. I knot into the mattress of my apartment, fold beneath the springs. Imagine a sunrise where history is not an excuse, but a black flower in a field with no memory of cotton or colonized or dark carcasses as the most prized pendulums, where I hang with my niggas and never consider the ways gravity and an itchy finger could guide us to the ground. In y'all eyes, my frame is most appealing when dangling, defying gravity or dying by it. Either way, I don't touch the ground. Public spectacle in ascension and execution. If you don't believe I'm real, you wouldn't bother to know what has birthed or killed me. Body made me a vast land, shade of dirt. Black made me descendant of demonized dirt. Body made me grow steady, flat feet as trunk. Black made my growth the biggest reason to snip me short. Black keeps my head on a swivel, is why blue and red lights stay lurking where I stay, is why go back to Africa. Chants ring from balconies in my direction, is why I can't forget the fear and fetish these broad shoulders and big lips bring into the bar, is why I can't shake out of the rope or regime of this university that fails to give my feet enough space to land, my breath enough room to breathe. I'm supposed to forget and quietly continue my studying, knowing those phantoms bear the same burden as me, trying not to become an ornament to dangle for your amusement, an object misused and left with scars an apology can't atone for, an immaculate death, neat and unblemished, all the mess left in the rope. What is learning in a place that's still learning? I shouldn't be in suspension. I wake up shaking and out of breath with the storm outside, the trees trembling in unison. Thank y'all. So that first poem, I wrote it after a noose was hung on campus in 2019, I believe. So it was my junior year, at the beginning of my junior year. And I feel like it was just an extremely insensitive, egregious, asinine moment that should have absolutely never happened. and it was really harmful to me and my community, and I felt like I needed to write about it. So we'll go into this next poem, and it's titled Fought 12. After Brittany Black Rose Capri. Fought 12. 12, as in the police, po-po, 5-0, as in glazed donut boxes, hidden body cams, rusty handcuffs, as in Paul Blart, Jason Van Dyke, Zimmerman and them, as in the badge and the blood, honor and hollow tips, as in I was born believing protect and serve, but grew to know poach and slay. As in what Ice Cube said in the first 2 bars of the second track on the first album from a gang called Niggas with Attitude. As in sirens ain't never been a sanctuary. More likely to end with a mother rising with the sun to plan the dreaded ceremony. As in nostalgia becomes the only tangible justice. As in, I ain't never ran from none but the police. As in, 16 shots and a cover-up becomes battle cry down the magnificent mile. As in, I don't care about your uncle or his uncle who patrolled with pride. Y'all still ops. As in, the gravel is still watching George's blood off its face. As in, I don't sleep without thinking about Brianna. As in, martyr whispers in the wind when I walk past the cop car posted at the 43rd Street Green Line train stop and make it home breathing. As in, my city considers funding a cop academy over equity for academics. As in, it don't matter if I'm a good kid. Good kids die in mad cities. As in, I am Tombstone when I'm in the back seat of a car on the north side with 3 white homies and there's loud and cocaine stuffed in the trunk. As in, why the fuck would I give you a reason to kill me that you have never needed? Thank y'all. So that poem, Fought 12, I do not like the police. I do not support the police. The police have been nothing but an extremely violent organization that's disproportionately harmed Black and brown communities, and we need reform. We need change. This cannot continue. And so we go to the next poem. Those first 2 joints were a little heavy, so it's going to be the lighter portion of the set. Stay with me, y'all. So this poem is called Ode to My Insomni Blacks. And Insomni Blacks is a phrase that was quoted by one of my favorite rappers, No Name. Ode to My Insomni Blacks. Thomas Jefferson straight up said, Black people require less sleep than whites. If the work wasn't finished, the whoopings began, starting a cycle of generations who grow up being beaten than beating their own. The response we saw to rest was violence, so we didn't rest. How will my family live if I lie down? My whole life, I heard the saying, you gotta work twice as hard to get half as much. I have the scars to prove it. Sunsets burning the midnight oil, studying for assessments that ain't built for my success. Swallowing the microaggressions and daily attacks on my mortality, wondering how long I got left, while white classmates drink for sport until their pockets run dry. I barely know anyone who can pay their rent with just one job. My mama drove 4 different kids to 3 different schools across Chicago and still made it to work on time. My brother worked till 4 a.m. serving insomnia cookies and still strive for a 4.0. My niggas are overworked, underpaid, and sleep deprived. This lineage of inadequate rest rests deep within our bones, descended from callous hands who become ghosts if they ghosted on their duties, that were blue collar and still beaten black and blue, that were taught weary is a weakness. How will my family live if I lie down? How are we supposed to stay woke if we don't sleep? Let me sink into a slumber that sees me worthy. Let me recharge tonight to run the world tomorrow. Let me sleep good and dream glory. Let me see things I imagined and live to tell about it. Thank y'all. That poem, Ode to My Insomnia Blacks. I have been thinking a lot about like rest and how, especially as a student, especially as a Black student on this campus, like it almost feels like productivity in terms of classes, in terms of how we move, productivity feels like the value of us, and it is absolutely not. We deserve to rest. We deserve to rejuvenate ourselves. We deserve to take self-care, and these are very trying times right now, and we have to make sure that we hold ourselves with grace and give each other the time to build ourselves back up, because there's a lot trying to break us down right now, but we have to build ourselves back up. And for me, poem is one of the things that does that. So I'm very, again, hella happy to be here. This next piece, in terms of self-care, I love music, and I went to Lollapalooza for the first time. I believe it was like the summer of my sophomore year. And so this poem is about that experience. Lost at Lala. Floating soul in seas of throwback jerseys, store-bought dashikis worn by pale patrons, who know nothing of kente cloth, little of Saba and No Name, and everything about being someone they are not. But we all come from far and wide to be hypnotized, gather in groups of angst and altered states, flinging our bodies into a trampoline of flailing arms and synchronized spit. In the midst of Chicago's annual eruption, my glasses are knocked from the brim of my nose. I drop beneath the fray of jumping figures to sift through the beer cans and wet grass. There is liberation in the search, forgetting the calamities around this moment. My city shutting streets down in the name of dead bodies whose assailants somehow still walk home with no blood on their hands and privilege whiter than the crowd gathering for Khalid behind me. In spite of the madness swirling around my heart and above my shoulders, I forget it all and do my best Velma impression around sets of dusty vans to find my extra eyes next to a crushed Sprite. I pop up, all four eyes in relief, to realize I made it close enough to hear the bass in G Herbo's voice. And ain't that what we come for? To fall victim to a vibration and ride its lawless wave until wipeout? To live away from everything that confines us and vanish into the lyrics and language that carry us through the chaos? Here, we stop trying to be God. Give our spirits to loss of consciousness and everything bloody. Praise the beat drop, the unexpected feature, the favorite melody. Praise the lyrics hollered from tree trunks to mosh pit to center stage. Take my troubles and shout them at whoever is closest. Let me hold this stranger's heart as we chant love songs for the streets. Black out amidst neon skies. We unlearn joy as we knew it. We stop trying to be God. We ask for nothing in return. So again, I think that piece is just about a moment of very like unbridled joy, in a moment where I got to forget everything that was happening around me and just like be where I needed to be and be ecstatic in that. And I think, especially in these moments, we need that. We need those moments, even if it's small moments during the day that just bring us unexpected joy and just get us free. We gotta get free every day, yo. It don't matter if we in the house every day. We gotta get free every day. And so this brings me to my final poem, and I actually spit this at Lollapalooza, which was one of the most like incredible moments of my life, and so I'm very happy to be spitting it for y'all today. This poem is titled "Immortal." I am tired. I'm tired. I'm tired. I am tired of writing dead. A poem is not a dead thing. Say it. A poem is not a dead thing, but a movement towards something still living. I want step, strut, juke, footwork kings, queens, D-Lo shuffle. I want to be exhausted from something that won't call my name suffering, but a summoning onto the field, or court, or stage. This be revenge body, a body unwelcome for harvest. We fresh like thrift drip and fat tiger merch. We fly as angels smiling down at our resistance. Y'all trying to give us reform? We screaming for rebirth. Our fury is freedom's orchestra. Even in eulogy, we conjure what was lost and spit a celestial sanctuary. I'ma dip my pen in grief and scribe glory. Right of the boy before mangled anatomy, the girl before going, gone, the fire city, only known of ash and armor. I come from legends, blossomed out of ludicrous, who taught me to rewrite ruin. Even after this body relic, these words finna reverb. Let us inhale the precious smoke of our blunt fruition. Burn black and brightly. The next name we must remember will see their own face on the news and bop till sunrise. Thank y'all so much. One love. Please support the people who are on the ground doing the work in Madison, across the country, across the world, and support Black businesses, pay a Black woman today, and, thank y'all so much. Peace.
Yes, thank you so much, Now. Your performance was absolutely riveting. Well, again, let's talk about some of the things he had in his poems about self-care. I think especially this time of year, midterms could be a weight on everyone's shoulder, as well as COVID on everyone's mind. And not having a spring break this year, I know having that break is helpful for everyone to get a little bit of self-care. But just want to mention, yes, make sure you take care of yourself, be able to take a break. And speaking on Nile, he is with the Black Voice. The Black Voice is an amazing publication here on campus, who make sure to uplift marginalized voices here. We have a podcast with him speaking on this issue, and we have a postponed concert or postponed event that Lauren can talk about.
Yeah, so part of one of the events that we are planning on doing for Black History Month was an event kind of building off of the podcast episode that we released a couple weeks ago. It's been postponed though, so if you follow us on social media, we'll keep you updated on that. but it will be about diversity in publications in the media, which is a huge issue right now, especially coming out of, this summer where there was a huge push for social change, and then also understanding the role of diversity in publications in the media on this campus, being a predominantly white university, and also just the fact that it's really important to uplift all of the voices of every student on campus. And so those are the things that were discussed in the podcast. And so it will be co-hosted with the guests from the podcast, if you go check that out. And yeah, we'll keep you guys updated on that, along with all of the other events that we have coming up for future Heritage Months and also just events in general.
And up next, we have Sydney.
Hey y'all, my name is Sydney. I'm a part of Uprise Poetry Collective. I'm a first wave scholar from Boston, Massachusetts, and I'll be reading 3 short poems for y'all today. Shout out to Tati and Niall. Those were beautiful sets, and I can only hope to follow y'all up with greatness as well. I recently put out a limited release chapbook called Throat Baby Mama, and I'm going to release it on a larger platform at the end of next month. And it definitely chronicles my experience dealing with little crushes in this pandemic. Who knew that in the midst of all this I'd find time to like boys? What a waste of time, right? I'm just going to get into it, okay? When a white boy dumps you on the first day of Black History Month, you need to remember 2 things. 1, he's half Colombian, so 2, y'all were only seeing each other for a week. But 3, he ate your ass on the first date though. So I thought he liked me. And yes, he was a bad kisser, and I felt like he was gonna choke me with his tongue. And maybe he did pull my $200 braids during back shots, but we are not on that right now. He made me salmon, and it was seasoned. A white Latinx man who can cook? Baby, sign me up. 6'2"? And you have bad taste in music? Baby, you feel just like home when you talk about yourself and don't ask me how I'm doing. I mean, fuck. You're making me kind of moist with your emotional unavailability, nigga. Whispering cock in my ear? Try me up. It's all cuddling and Bob's Burgers until you tell me that we have nothing in common. And as much as I love your cooking and your car, I have to agree. So I'll hold on to the memories and the tuchus lingus, and I'll raise the standard for the next Midwestern boy. So that's one. Okay. So we're gonna get into these next 2 poems, who are about a friend of mine that I was like, wow, I think you're cute. And then I was very quickly never mind. Air signs, throw them away. December 30th, 2020. I wonder if our throat babies would have a long gestation period. How long would it take for them to jump ship? Would they make it full term? Would they be twins? Can I be your throat baby mama, nigga? It's all I've ever wanted. Would you visit them without a court order? Would you love me if I kept your semen in a pouch like an Adam's apple that never fell? I'll raise them up real good, baby. Plenty of water. Love in the cold. Make an avalanche of affection out of that nut. Can I be your throat baby mama, nigga, please? It's all I've ever wanted. And last one. It is the Negro solstice of 2020, and I'm desiring the affection of a boy who is not Black. I was supposed to get my superpowers at midnight. Instead, I'm doing the most to avoid my thoughts. I muted you on all platforms, baby. I'm a simp. If I could sleep on command, I would. Whoever I fuck in the next 29 days will get to experience everything that you gave up. I worry about how I'm going to feel in the morning, no matter whom it is. I don't know. It's like your shrimp made its way into my heart, and I'm allergic to shellfish. But I was willing to fake choke on you. You hear me? I'll sacrifice oxygen to the brain for you, nigga. I will. Definitely cry again. If I had gotten my superpowers at midnight, I would have imported your dick here. Don't tell Dr. Umar. The next 29 days and nights, I hope I don't feel the same way about you. Or at the very least, I hope I feel calm. I wanted to fuck a fuckboy into being my boyfriend, like a delusional ass bitch. It's fucked up, but I'd still give you some ass, bitch. Love y'all. Thanks.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Those were all amazing. I'm just gonna say, as a Gemini, I'm gonna ignore the hate for air signs for now.
The disrespect.
But once again, make sure that you check out all of Sydney's social media pages and make sure that you keep updated with that for her future release. And yeah, just to reiterate that she's a part of Uprise Collective, which is the slam poetry team on campus, which is so cool because that, along with groups like the Black Voice and other artistic groups here, it's so important that students and just people in general have the opportunity to express themselves. So make sure that you check them out as well, because we want to keep you want to keep updated with people who are putting out such amazing work like Sydney and all of the other poets that we've already heard from. I mean, everyone tonight has been so amazing. And once again, we're so happy that we're here, that you guys were all able to come and they were all able to perform. And yeah, it's really important to acknowledge the value of poetry. We actually just had an event with Hoofer Ambassadors on Wednesday, where we did a book club for Black History Month, and we read an anthology of 40 years of Black poetry. It's called Black Nature, if you want to check it out. Just gonna plug that real quick, because it is amazing and extremely powerful and still very relevant. And so, yeah, it was a really cool event.
Yeah, and Hoopers is also a part of the Wisconsin Union, so make sure you guys check their social media out as well. And coming up next, we have Dolly the Ruler.
Hello. Good evening. I really hope the audio is working okay, because I don't really have any way of knowing, but I'm assuming everybody can hear me. So, good evening, folks. My name is Godly. I'm a Nigerian born, Chicago raised. I'm a current junior at UW here, and I do a lot of things. One of those things is rapping. So I'm gonna do some raps for you tonight. Let's get into it. Check. License paid on my chest. I don't get no rest. Hey. Speaking bullet through my chest, I guess I should invest in a vessel attack like a ref. Maybe not. I can't trust. Nobody knows. Shit, it's not even myself. Bitch, I'm gone. Here I go. Off the drink and the dog. You want smoke? You can pose. I just got here, they like, boy, you do the most. Hail Mary, Lord, forgive me, Holy Ghost. You ain't winning, why you speaking adios? Everything is about to fall like dominoes. Bitch, I'm hot, if you ain't know, now you know. 33, I'm about to glow. Shoot this photo week at night, something like a weed. Voices in my head, started like the way they speak. Living in the mud, I had to watch out in the creek. Christian Louboutin, I'm leaving blood all on the leaves. If you ain't know, you know. License hanging on my flesh. I don't get no rest. Speeding bullet through my chest, I guess. In a vessel attack, like a rat. Maybe not. I can't trust nobody else. Yeah, not even myself. Oh, ain't no fucking way. Oh, I just realized my laptop is on 20%. So I really hope that's enough charge to get through my set. That was the first song. That song was called 1 Million Degrees. Recorded that when I was a freshman. Yeah, I just put it back out again on this EP I put out at the end of January called Work in Progress. And that's where I'm really, like, that's most of the songs I'm going to be doing tonight. Anyways, it's coming off of Work in Project, or Work in Progress, oops. Yeah, I hope everybody's doing well tonight. Hope you've been enjoying the weather. It's hella nice out. I know my neighbors are. They were drinking out on their porch, like, early this morning, having a good time. I was inside working on this set and, like, get my vocals together. Yeah. Sam just texted me. So like I said, I don't really have anywhere to see in the chat. So Sam, could you text me and let me know how the audio sounds? Like, was that last song? Was that okay? Yeah. He also told me the Rick and Morty bomb is chilling in the back, but we're gonna let it chill. It cuts out a bit when it gets loud. Okay. Maybe I'll drop the level of it. Okay, I'm gonna get to this. This is loading. Cool. Okay, I'm gonna do these next couple songs now. Yeah. So, my dog is like, I'm gonna let her in. I'm gonna. Come here. Wait. This is Scooter. She's gonna be chilling, in the room, cause she was crying at the door. Okay. Oopsies. Yeah. I got 2 bad hoes on my shorts, I still my summer. I got 2 cell phones, one for the hoes, I got too much permit, I can't spend, so I let go. Money making come and her pussy making mom. My new chick blind, nicknamed the Frank Ocean. White boys call me brother, I ain't Hulk Hogan. God be the ruler, ain't never been a token. While King Phoenix in the booth, these niggas think I'm joking. I'm young, black, handsome, and emotional, and I've been drowning in these motions. You would never get it done, man, that's a disclosure. You popping on the ground, IRL. If you gon' give me lips, you give me throat too. And if you eating up my plate, bitch, I would be so soon. You rode away for too long, right in the monsoon. Life again, when that shit ends, I just thought you road trips to heaven's gates. My niggas tryna. I heard you had a bad towel, I'll be having mine too. Yeah! Yeah! Yeah, you get, yeah, yeah. Walking inside that kitchen, I stand tall, yeah. Gotta give my all, yeah. I like money on me, bitches on me, best tricks on tricks on her. Smoke out that, smoke out the world, don't kill the vibe of her. Yeah, my home is totally, I don't think I can ever let go. I'm in my zone with a lot on the dome, but I don't think I can ever let go. I was nice last week, but things changed, baby, so I'm finna talk my shit. Excessive clip, shit, fuck. Got me looking like a pot of make bitch, I'm a phone make bitch, already pop phone, phone, this shit, so stuff, and get ripped, look how I to the bank. I laugh like that shit was funny. I wipe my ass with 100. Static, you don't really want it. Like sex without a condom. Gotta be fucking raw. Hit with the dick shield with it. Kiss right down them fucking walls. 12. Drop that shit like spoiled kid. Send me out. I've been stuck in the booth. They couldn't please get me out. They been watching and waiting for me to go up, trying to figure me out, please. All that I am is all that you see, what you figuring out, bitch. Drop that skillet, spoiled bitch. I've been stuck in the booth. They couldn't please get me out. They been watching and waiting for me to go up, trying to figure me out. All that I am is all that you see, what you figuring out. Fuck worth the water. Why? Cause I deserve it. I spend money like I'm Sosa. Because I earned it. I told her pull up to the crib. And then I pop my shit like that. Then I give yo right back there. Fine, nigga. I drop these fucking hits like that. It got me mic. Feel up how I be in the night like that. So you gon' die quicker if you try to play with me like that. And that's on me. And that's on God, and if I can't breathe, if I take one that I need to, I'm pretty deep. Got yours proud of the fit, I've been on fleek. Been a leap, I'm too unique, you can't compete. So the dog is just like running all over the room, like all in my path and shit. And it's really not great, but it's like a little fun obstacle course. Keeps me on my toes. All right, gonna do a couple more tracks. Yeah, let's go. No fucking way, my phone's on 20% as well. Slim Shady, dark skin, big cat baby, 50 Jack maybe, Mr. West crazy, so in due time, these waves running straight to just baby. And where I land, the sun and sand couldn't even face me. A diamond in the rough spent my whole life trying to be amazing. So you could not play me and never ever. I'm like the baby, way I make these girls go crazy. Hope you understand that it's all love when I say I hope you hate me. No debate, while in my palms before I change the shape. And you can run and you can hide, but you could not escape. And you can hope and you can pray, but you could not change faith. And if I say it is, then so it was. It's born being great. I was born to be standing in front of your face today. It's safe to say I beat the ladder. Hopped on it with no delay into the top of roadblocks. I'm still making way and fuck it if I fall, it's better than watching that shit fade away. So are you willing to pay the price to play the game, nigga? Cause once it's you can never be the same, nigga. Open my eyes to reveal to the world of flame, nigga. I hold the mirror in your face to reveal to you a lame, nigga. So are you willing to pay the price to play the game, nigga? Cause once it starts, these things can never be the same, nigga. To reveal to the world the flame, nigga. I hold the mirror in your face to reveal to you a lame, nigga. Niggas ain't about shit, always eating off my plate. How about you eat my dick? Niggas on that foo-foo shit. If you ain't loving nigga, why'd you go and say that shit? My eyes closed, I still keep that shit. Why'd you talk to nigga? Now that I can go delete that bitch. And I ain't worried about no take back, bitch. If I give you swag, you keep it. I don't need that shit. Victory. Hell yeah. Okay, it's adding up. Sometimes I think that I had enough. You better fucking, that ain't adding up. Listen up, don't give a fuck about the man you love. It's Thursday morning, I'ma let the trash can pick up. People like extra potatoes, and I'm getting that smug. She's like GTA in a whip, we driving fast fuck. Do 100 in a 20 in a semi truck. Like a robber with a stick, we make a up in my room, smoking rocks, bitch. I get on fuck, bitch. Motocross, look at this dumb bitch. We get from hell, cause ain't no going out like a punk bitch. Was on some fuck shit, but this ain't one of the fuck shit. Niggas soft, I got heart all in my cup, bitch. I swear these bird bitches, all on some clutch shit. Nigga, I'll be dropping stick, this left talk back. Like Rick Ross, now we always stay on some fuck shit. They say I've been sounding like a photo. Got a big screen, got the Instagram promo. So they should be local. 60 seconds up, you gotta run it back in slow-mo. They think I'm crazy, no bitch, I'm just going loco. Your favorite rap vanilla Bugatti been going cocoa. Hop on top the beat and rap the beat like it's a Volvo. Your ex-man wasn't down now, just fucking up the mojo. Listen, got me that nice, pull up in that black whip. That thing got me sitting like my dude. Give me confidence, you wanna do wrong, I'm right out to my. So chill, I'm hot in the bitch. I'm a lucky guy, no chill, I'm hot in the bitch. No chill, I'm hot in the bitch. No chill, I'm hot in the bitch. I'm so sorry, Scooter. In that process of doing that song, I stepped on her paw or her tail, and she got really upset with me, and she was barking at me towards the end. I'm sorry, Scooter. My fault, honestly. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my last song right now, and I guess that'll be my time. But yeah, I'm gonna run through this track, and it'll be really cool. It'll be really fun. Yeah. Sorry, Scooter. Alright, I think the beef is washed. Down in the mud, you come back to your love from that. Yeah, hot on the beat, grab the beat in the dust. It is what it is, because I don't give a fuck. I ain't got a lot on my head. Pull the orange dot to your head. Pussy niggas talking shit. Pussy niggas out there. All that shit, it just eats me alive. TBA, that ain't no peace till you die. I need all that just to work. If I ever, when you search for me, this won't be no like the ain't first, so do the purpose. Like that shit, I be cursing, broaching, hesitate, hellcat, swerving, tight burning, middle finger burning. Slow two phone shine, coming off the life of a real nigga. I tell a dude that shine, and when I'm fucking Tommy, still got a lot on my head, like a bull when I see red off with your head. It just is what it is. Did you heard what it said? Little two phone shine, coming off the life of a real nigga. I tell a dude that shine, and when I'm fucking Tommy, still got a lot on my head, like a bull and off with your head. Yeah, it just is what it is. Did you hear what I said? I said I'm sorry, Scooter. She's figured on me. Bro, she's like... Thank you. That's been me. That's my time. Thank you for listening. Love you. Good night.
Thank you so much, God Will. An absolutely amazing performance again. Just want to really thank all the artists here tonight. You guys have been amazing. Make sure you follow all these guys on social media, as well as look for some of them on Spotify, to keep up with all the work they're doing. I know we also mentioned a couple of organizations we work with and programs we work with as well. So make sure you give those guys a follow as well to stay in tune. And next, we're going to move to the Q&A section, and Lauren will explain this.
Yeah, so we're gonna move into the Q&A. We're gonna have a couple minutes to kind of transition over. So this is a good time if you need to go get some food, grab a drink, settle in, because we're gonna have about 30 minutes now of a question and answer. And so yeah, we're just gonna have a couple of the artists here, and we're gonna talk about some questions. We have a few that we prepared, but once again, we encourage you guys to submit your questions either in the chat or in the Google form that was posted in the chat. And there's an option if you want to ask a specific performer a question, you can. But yeah, make sure that you do that, or just, stick around and hear what people have to say and other people's questions. But once again, thank you guys so much for coming. And like Josh said, thank you to the artists as well for performing. This has been amazing, and we couldn't ask for a better way to round out such a great month of programming, like from our group, but also all of the other groups on campus. And just to bring it back to what Josh said once again, to shout out everyone that we were talking about before: Black Umbrella,
Yep.
Hoofers, the Black Voice, all of them. They're doing great work as well, and we really appreciate being able to collaborate with them so much. And so make sure to follow them and keep up with them, and make sure to support them as well, because we got to make sure that all of these groups are seen.
Yes.
So yeah, we're gonna move on to the Q&A in a second. So one last time, just to plug it, we are monitoring the chat, so make sure to throw any questions in there. And yeah, thank you once again for being here. All right, welcome back, everybody. Thank you for sticking around for the Q&A. We're gonna kick it off with just a pretty broad question that any or all of the artists who are here participating can answer. But just in general, like, why did you choose to express yourself in the way that you do, either through poetry or through music? And just like, if you have an inspiration, who is that or what is that? And yeah, just if anyone wants to start off and go into that, feel free.
Sydney, you want to go ahead?
No, you good.
Okay, right. So I'm from Southside Chicago, and Chicago is like a very vibrant place for poetry. So I was just around a lot of art my whole life. I have a very artistic family. My mom was a storyteller, and my dad was a poet, and so I just very much like came up around a lot of art. But I was trying to play soccer. I was trying to be a soccer player. That was like my goal. And then I got 2 concussions in high school. And so I was like, oh, okay, soccer is maybe not going to be the move right now. And then like, that was a really hard time for me. But like what I had to hold on to was writing and was poetry. And I really just like dove into that. And, last year was the first year of my life that I hadn't done a poetry slam since I was 11. And so it was like I was very deep in the slam and like largely successful with it. But like more so, I really appreciated the people that I came up around and who like elevated my craft and always pushed me to work harder and to just rethink my writing and reimagining like what the craft can give you. And I have like so many inspirations from like No Name to Kerry James Marshall to Vince Staples to like just some of the homies in First Wave. But I think somebody who I've really been like leaning on right now, I'm reading Professor Ahmad Johnson's book, Imperial Liquor, and Ahmad can write, boy. So that's what I've been like really into right now.
Sorry, I was going to say, Tatiana, you can answer the question next.
So I guess my inspiration is one, just life, and then my mom. I always thought she had a very nice way of like explaining things, and really that's what I try to use my poetry for. I think that's what all poetry though is for, to either explain like a feeling, a situation. It's always it's like an explanation of like thought, and so I like that. And then like poets, I really look up to Nikki Giovanni, and because she's very good at using very like airy words, and I like to try to use words that, I don't know, invoke a specific feeling to people. And then I also really like Amiri Baraka, because he was never afraid to like be different and to make his poems sound however he wanted them to. And I think that I try hard to not fall into like a box, because I've never really learned how to write poetry actually in like a formal setting or anything. So I know a lot of times I don't really follow like the little different rules that exist. So I like look up to people like that.
You killed it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tati, I love your work so much. But again, I really can't wait to read your poetry book.
Yeah, for sure. Everything that you guys did was amazing.
Yeah. And then finishing off this question, Sydney, you can answer.
I would say, I think the question was, what inspired you to write the way you did? Yeah, so my current uses right now are Tahira Nurse and Jessica Salgado. Tahira Nurse was a first waiver, and she's a UW alum, by the way. Yeah, I don't really like do form a lot. Form kind of stresses me out. But what I do know is that I can write down what's in my head and put it on paper and make shit shake by the way I speak. So that's just kind of what writing is to me. Like I can say what's on my mind and in short bursts and like it's my thoughts but on paper. And then like when I was in high school I was like, wait, other people fuck with this and I can get paid for this and I can go to school for this. And that's just kind of how it kept going and it became like writing is a part of me. No matter like like where I am, what I'm gonna be doing in life. This is always going to be me. So that's why it's my favorite platform for storytelling.
Thank you. And going a little bit on the writing process, what type of mindset do you guys have to be in when you're writing your poetry? And now you can start us off.
Yo, I write all the time. It really like it's not a specific mode that I really need to be in. Whether it's just like I'll just be on the train and like I'll see something and then I'll write about it, or I'm in a workshop and I'm writing, or I was in a poetry fellowship over the summer with the Rebuild Foundation in Chicago, and that being in that fellowship like taught me the discipline of writing in a way that it never taught me before, because like it was during the pandemic and I have 5 other people in my crib all the time and I didn't have a room, so like I had really no alone time except for when I'd go to my balcony and like read and write outside. But like being able to build that discipline in like these circumstances, I feel like is gonna make me ready for anything.
All right, and then Sydney, we can go to you.
Writing process for me is, and I'm trying to work on it, but like I will feel a very strong emotion and instead of cursing somebody out, I'm gonna write real quick. Like I'm gonna pull up the notes app. I'm the notes app bitch, and I'm gonna write. And I find that like it definitely helps for times of like extreme sorrow, but I've had trouble like writing joy into words because I don't feel the same urge. Like it's a weird thing, but I'm trying to navigate like writing out of happiness as well because it's just as valid a feeling. But I don't know, people seem to like the sad shit from artists all the time, and it's very exhausting and it can be exploitive in that way. But yeah, I'll show my friends and they're like, work on it. Editing, feedback, important. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, definitely. I too very much appreciate the notes app. It is there for you whenever you need it. And yeah, let's go to Tati now as well.
For me, I really will write wherever. I kind of get my inspiration from hearing, like, usually it's like a very specific like phrase that will make me want to write something. And sometimes I'm not even the one that says it all the time. I always give credit to people, but sometimes people say some really poetic stuff in everyday conversation and they don't always hear it. And I just like to listen to like real emotion because real emotion usually sounds very poetic when you figure out how to express it. And so I really write all the time. I'll be writing when I'm supposed to be running a protest sometimes. So I'll write wherever.
I've been writing in class sometimes. Okay.
Yeah.
Look, room class. Just write something real quick. Get through.
Y'all need to teach me how to write poetry. I'm literally the worst. I cannot rhyme. So
Gosh, you gotta come to an Uprise workshop. Look.
I'll be there. Oh my gosh, make sure you guys follow Uprise Poetry as well. And
yeah, for sure. We can take some of the questions that we had in the chat. Let me get these up. Okay. Yeah, this one is a specific question for Sydney. What's it gonna take to be free of these fuckboys?
I know who asked that, so I'm like,
A question that needs an answer.
What you need, Sydney? What you need, fam?
y'all got my therapy co-pays, if y'all got some actual Black men in Madison that are single, maybe I'll be free, because it is so ghetto. It is so ghetto in Madison. So yeah, that's all I need. That's what it's gonna take to be free.
Well, if you want to your Venmo so we can get some of those therapy co-pays covered,
Right.
do that.
Hey, Cindy.
Nirvana Noir on all platforms.
It's out to you. Give him the bag.
You want to take the next one?
Yeah.
All right.
And this is a question from Addie. How does music help you connect with others and yourself? And Tati, you can answer this question first.
I think that, one, I also I listen to music that says something. It doesn't have to always say like something meaningful necessarily. Like the message really could be like, I get plenty of women. Like that could be the message, as long as they're like saying it in a way that's like interesting to listen to. That like I listen to music. So really, my music also kind of depends on my mood. You can kind of tell by how I'm dressed what type of music I'll probably be listening to that day. Like if I'm dressed and I feel like, I don't know, like I'm looking top notch, I'll probably listen to a lot of women rappers, things like that. And I think that music helps me connect with people because I listen to a lot of music from the 70s. And so I try to like show people some stuff that they might be missing out on just because, it's not hot for us because we weren't alive. But so I just try to share the good songs I listen to that I know not everybody is jamming on a regular basis. Still hoping to start hearing some Jackson 5 at the parties, but haven't got that yet.
COVID, that's all I'm playing. That's all I'm playing at the parties. Now, could you answer the question next? And also, an additional question to that, what decade do you think has the best music?
That's foul, Josh. That's foul. I think I'm gonna say like the 90s or the early 2000s, but I was born in 97, so like I will admit my bias. But music, I listen to music all the time when I write. I rarely write without music. And it's like I'm a hip hop head. I normally listen to hip hop, but like I've been starting to expand my musical horizons. My roommate, Dari, he's in First Wave. Dari is a producer and a rapper, and like he listens to everything. So he be putting me on all the time, be sending me playlists and stuff. If you got good playlists, please slide them. I love playlists. Also, I love making playlists. If you want a playlist, I got you. But yeah, like I think music provides energy. I think it provides inspiration. It's a form of storytelling, and like poetry is a form of storytelling. And so I feel like those are ways that I love to find inspiration and ways that connect and just like build me up in my craft.
And next we can move on to Sydney.
Best decade for music for sure was the 80s. That is a hill I will die on. What I be listening to? I'll listen to everything. Kind of a lot of like 90s R&B, a lot of 80s rock, a lot of alternative music. If you had a Tumblr phase, I like you. So yeah, that's I don't write with music though. I can't do that. That's too many words. That's too many thoughts, and my anxiety like does enough. So that's where I'm at.
Awesome. Yeah. Kind of moving from music, because personally I listen to music a lot when I like need to relax or like just take a mental break. So kind of following up to what we talked about before with like, how stressful things have been recently, and also just like a lack of spring break. How are you guys, taking care of yourselves? What are you doing for self-care? what are you doing now that it's tolerable to be outside and you won't get hypothermia if you step outside your door? We can go to Niall first for this one.
Yo, I started meditating damn near every day, even if it's just for like 5 minutes, and it's been super clutch. I didn't really think it would do anything for me at first, but I think it's just become a way to center myself at the beginning of a day, and just block out all the background noise and affirm myself. And so that's been dope. I love working out, so that's, I think, one of my moments of self-care. I also love soccer, so I play a lot of FIFA when I have free time. I don't have a lot of free time, but I love FIFA. So if you want this work, hit my line. You can get this work. And Uno too. You want this work in Uno? I'm your man's. But yeah, I think like I was writing about in my like Ode to Insomni Blacks poem, like rest feels extremely hard to come by right now. There are a lot of moments where I feel like I can't turn my brain off, especially during the summer. But I feel like for us to restore ourselves is an act of resistance and an act of self-preservation. I know Audre Lorde has a quote that's like something like that. And I definitely believe that we have to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves. Like, you gotta do something, at least one thing a day that just makes you unbridledly happy, and is only about you. It's not about school. It's not about your job. It's not about your homie. Just all about you. I've been drinking tea, and tea fire.
Awesome. Yeah, so we can move over to Sydney if you want to answer this as well.
Can you repeat the question?
Oh yeah, so just in general, like what have you been doing for self-care? Like what have you been doing recently just to like take care of yourself, especially as things get warmer and there's more options?
So I make it a point to go outside once a day, and believe it or not, I did not do that last semester. Like I would be up in this OG building for like days on end, so that wasn't great. So that is just air in a shower. Air in a shower, like they can go a long way. Also making sure to check in with myself and ask myself, like, are you upset right now? If so, why? Did you eat? Because like I find like a lot of my problems are like, did you eat today? Or did you drink water? And the answer is usually no. So then I'll like do that. And it's really like the little things, like checking in with family back home frequently, like making sure that the people I care about are good at least once a week, like puts my mind at ease. And like I invested in a record player over break, and it's a solid investment. Like it gives me something to do. It's like picking up hobbies that are like low maintenance, because collecting vinyls right now is my thing. So yeah.
For me, I've been trying to take this time through quarantine to just become a better person in general. So I actually I do a lot of things. I hold myself accountable for different things. I'm trying to build better self trust. Like people don't know, like when you like tell yourself you're not going to do this weekend and then you go do it anyway, it starts to break down your self-esteem because you stop believing in yourself as much because you can't even listen to yourself. So I've been working a lot on trying to make sure I hold myself accountable on the things that I tell myself I'm going to do. Like I don't have to tell somebody else that I'm going to study for this to actually study for it. And then I'm also taking the time to meditate, make sure I'm have faith, whatever you have faith in. Like make sure you're always building more faith, because you need something to believe in life. And I'm also just making an effort to try to make sure I'm not being selfish in any of my personal relationships. Making sure I'm checking in on my friends, even if they don't always return the same energy. I'm making sure I create my own energy rather than like being someone who's gonna let somebody else dictate how I'm acting in certain spaces. I'm always making sure I'm creating my own energy and taking care of myself. And like Sydney said, a shower goes a long way. And so does going outside. I make sure I see the sun every time it shines. Whether it's cold or not, I make sure I see the sun when she's out there for us. So that's what I do.
Yeah. And I think going on lines of self-care in general, I'll be honest, always fantasize about what life will be, or the first thing I'm gonna do after COVID. I just want to know, with you guys, what is the first thing you would do post-COVID?
Definitely, as soon as there's a concert, I'm wearing minimal clothing and I'm gonna go into somebody's mosh pit, and that's what's gonna happen. And I'm going home with somebody's celebrity husband, and that's
Sydney, I support your aspirations, my G. I support it. I think, I haven't been to a bookstore in a minute, no cap. Like, I want to go to a bookstore. I also need to travel. I gotta go somewhere. I gotta get out the country. We gotta go somewhere. I don't really care where it is at this point. Me and my roommate been talking about going to DR, Dominican Republic soon. Definitely want to do that. But yeah, gotta travel.
Oh, Tati, you can go next. Oh.
I cut out. Sorry.
No, you're good.
I think the very first thing I want to do is, because I know I would say travel, but I know I won't have the money. First thing. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to throw a block party. I don't care who shows up. I'm going to make sure it's ghetto and fabulous and always possible. Yeah, I'm going to throw a block party. I'm throwing a Madison block party. Y'all can be prepared for it. Wait on it. As soon as we're allowed to have more than 11 people in the same area, I'm throwing a block party. So
I'm pulling up. It's a wrap.
You already know.
Please do. Everyone's welcome.
Okay, yeah, following up to that though, because obviously I really want to travel right now, but one, COVID, but also two, I don't have the money. So if you could hypothetically go anywhere, where would you be right now? Like right this minute? Like money's not an issue, time is not an issue. We can just go right back to Tati if you want, if you have any ideas.
If money was not an issue, I'd be in Jamaica. Specifically a resort though, because you can stay off resort and it's a little cheaper. But if money wasn't an issue, I'm gonna go ahead and stay on resort. In one of the hotels. What are those things called? I don't know what they're called, but they're like little houses right by the ocean. I'm staying in one of those. Living lavish. I'd have some nice braids. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. Sydney, do you have a place that you want to be right now?
Last week I definitely would have been in Trinidad. It would have been their 2021 carnival, and it's a whole week-long event of drinks and food and dancing, and that's where I would have been for sure had outside been open.
That's awesome. Yeah, and Niall, I know you said the Dominican Republic, but do you have anywhere else too?
I've always wanted to go to Barcelona. FC Barcelona is my favorite soccer team. So I need to see Messi play in the Camp Nou before he retires. So Barcelona, and then I was about to say Jamaica too. So Tati, go ahead and do that, dog.
Yeah, Barcelona is gorgeous, but the people there stay out late. You will hear people coming back from the bars at 6 a.m.
Look, I'm nocturnal. I'm not a morning person. I'm nocturnal. So those are my people. That's where I need
to be. Well, then you'll fit right in.
That's supposed to be at.
I'm working on getting sleep at some point, so maybe.
Just want everyone else to know that Niall is trash at soccer. I'll play on this man. I'm playing. It's a joke. It's a joke.
Scoring goals. You was out here running with like a chicken with his head cut off. Stop playing with yourself.
I believe it.
Gosh.
That was a joke, y'all. That was a joke. It's a joke. That was really good. But the last question for tonight, how would you guys encourage people to get into poetry or music writing or just any form of expressing themselves artistically? And we could start off with Sydney.
I would say that, like, from what I've noticed when people say they like don't write or aren't writers, they feel like poetry is supposed to look a certain way, and it's really not. As long as what you're writing feels authentic to you, then that's poetry right there. And just like once you like stop letting outside influencers come in and into your head, like living rent free, you like just stop it. Read what you're into, watch what you're into, and find inspiration from there. And if it doesn't work, like you can test it out in an open mic too. And if that doesn't work or you don't like it, go back. That's the beauty of like writing. It's like never done. So I would say that.
Thank you. And now we can go to Tati.
I would just say, think about an emotion that you've always had a hard time explaining, and try to write about it, because I think what makes poetry so special is that you can see a piece of the person, whoever wrote it, you can see a part of them in it. And so just, yeah. And also, like Sydney said, don't worry about it sounding or looking a specific way. Don't even think about it as something that needs to be like, this is going to be performed on a stage for people to hear, because honestly, none of my poems are ever written like that. None of them are ever written to be performed. I just choose which ones I'm going to perform. But yeah, just opening up to yourself. That's all it takes to write some poetry, opening up to yourself.
Thank you. And now, finish us off.
I think some of the most important traits of poets are like to have an open mind, no, to have an open heart and a curious mind. I think like to be able to just move through the world that way, I think. And then also you have to like, you need an appreciation for the craft. If you're not reading, like you're not gonna get better at all. You gotta read. But yeah, I think like being able to open your heart up to like what a poem can be, but also just like Tati said, your emotions, and like even if you don't understand a situation, learning about a situation, being open to a situation, even if you don't understand an emotion, just like instead of closing yourself off to it, being like, oh, I could write about this, and writing might help me figure it out. I think writing is such a valuable tool, and I'm blessed to be around a lot of people who care, and who are always like elevating their craft. And yeah, I'm grateful to be here with Sydney and Tati, who are doing that.
Yeah, well, thank you guys so much for all of your wonderful answers. And in the essence of time, we do have to wrap things up. So that's going to be the last question. But once again, thank you guys to the performers so much for being a part of this. We had such a good time putting this on, and we hope that you guys had a good time as well. And to people who are still here, thank you guys so much for coming to the live stream. We were so happy to be able to do this, and this was just a really fun event that we were super excited about making happen. And so, yeah, make sure to everyone who's still here, check all of the performers out on social media, follow us. We're at UW-Madison BIPOC Coalition, which is long, I know, on basically everything. So make sure to look for us there. And any last words from Josh?
No, again, just want to thank everyone again for coming here, especially all of the viewers as well. Again, this is a Saturday night. So make sure after this, you guys like have some fun, turn up, relax. And
Yeah, take care of yourself on this weekend. Maybe go outside tomorrow or something. I think it's supposed to be sunny again. And it's warm for Wisconsin right now. So enjoy yourselves. Have a good rest of your night. And thank you all again so much.